disappearance, Madam Speaker, that National Forensic Laboratory at the DCI should be given the money to do their job. Most of the cases in court are collapsing, especially by the prosecution, because of lack of investigations, Madam Speaker. Because we don't have a properly functional in the upgrading of biology forensic laboratory and also chemistry forensic lab that we need to upgrade. If we have to fight crime in this country, we must invest in investigations. Most of the criminal cases that are being withdrawn by DPP, that the DPP, whether it is white collar crime, whether it is the normal criminal elements, Madam Speaker, is because we don't have a proper and functional laboratories that investigate the issue of DNA, crime scenes, and what have you, Madam Speaker. And therefore, we must ensure that we give enough resources at the DCI, especially for these forensic laboratories, so that we are, Madam Speaker, you sometimes see, even in first world, like America and other countries, somebody commits an offense, maybe 20 years ago, but because of modern technology, those people are being arrested and prosecuted because that the limitation of crime in criminal aspect does not exist. So where I sit, Madam Speaker, I want to implore, and I know the National Security and Foreign Defense Vice Chairperson is seated behind me. She needs to seize the matter and forward it to the counterpart committee of my brother, Mheshimiwa Tongoyo, of National Security Foreign Relations in the National Assembly, so that they are given proper budgeting. That's how we'll be able to address crime, Madam Speaker, because most of the criminals are working scot-free. Because the scene was interfered with, we don't have proper medical, Madam Speaker. Even though in the issue of proper processing, the issue of clearance certificates, Madam Speaker, as you are aware, government is looking for money anywhere and everywhere at the moment because of the unfortunate and downtown economic times that we have. I agree that we need also to make sure, that's the way we are doing with the government printer. Let us give enough resources to DCI to have modern equipment to generate police clearance certificates. And you can see it can generate good money. If we are processing, Madam Speaker, 4,500 and the capacity is 20,000 per day, yet we are processing 4,500 per day clearance of the police. If we give it maximum, the same money will go back to sustaining the DCI and even assisting government with the revenue. So I agree on those aspects. Only 3 issues I wanted to agree with the committee on the observation. And I remember in the last session, we did raise the issue about National Coroner's Act. We have passed, we summoned the Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya, and then the Attorney General Kihara, and then they could not, why they have not operationed the National Coroner's Act. That is why the bodies cannot be processed from Shakahola and be released to families. Simply, the Coroner's Act has not given proper way of processing and ensuring that the rightful, because there are many, when you go to KNH, City Mojari, there are many unclaimed bodies. Because if they had operationalized the law, it would assist by clearing some of those backlog, so that we give the coroners an office, Madam Speaker, and of these deaths, and be able to not be unclaimed bodies. You know, it's an African to say a body is unclaimed. You know, it is not good according to us, Madam Speaker. And therefore, essentially, what we are saying is that, I don't know, I tend to imagine that the JLAC committee, where you sit as a member, has been given power to follow up on this implementation matrix. And I hope you'll you'll invite the Attorney General. I don't want to say someone, it's a strong one, to invite the Attorney General. Tell us why the National Coroner Service Act, which we passed here in 2017, is not operational. Because we are slowing down. Many people are blaming Dr. Johansen Odwor or other individuals, yet we have not given them the necessary systems to ensure they do their job through National Coroner's Services. Speaker, when you look at many other issues that have been raised, on 1 or 2 issues I make observations so that I look my colleagues. Of course, we have talked about the matching of DNA, including the former members of Kilifi County Security. I agree that
there's a point of information. Do you want to be informed?
No, I'm not interested at the moment with any information. let me just prosecute. The Director of Criminal Investigates the securities and national security officers. I agree. If there were lapses with NIS at the ground level, the county security team, I think if there was action of commission or omission, then it must be put in place. And those are, I think the DCI and the Ngao or the CS in charge of Interior, they should give us a reasoning, like administrative action has been taken against some officers, or whether some of them have been shown cause, reprimanded, or they have been fired. And that is why, Madam Speaker, some of us have always insisted that in the county security team, why don't we include the governors? And we had a push and pull, we have moved to court, we have argued, because if governors were part of this county security team, maybe some of these things would not be happening. Because wananchi would be comfortable to tell governor something than tell a police officer or tell an NIS individual. So I think we need to rethink in the county security structure. Why don't we ensure governors become part of the county security team, Madam Speaker? So in all this aspect, I think if there are people who are culpable or ignored, Madam Speaker, and my heart of empathy and sympathy goes to many families because of this misguidance. Madam Speaker, lost their loved ones. And also it's more traumatizing that some of the families are yet to trace their loved ones, are yet to be part their loved ones, Madam Speaker. I know, Madam Speaker, I think there is a song by Sasha Male that I shall preach the gospel of Jah across all the nations and kingdoms. We agree they should preach that gospel, but there should be some decency. They must be within the law. And I think what we are just saying, Madam Speaker, is that people should do what their constitution gives them to do. But you should know where your rights ends, another person's rights begins. And that is the essence. So if you have the right to worship, you should worship within the law that has been provided, the right to life, and many others, Madam Speaker.